Hey guys, what's up, y'all? Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. So we're gonna do a moon spread, a manifesting spread to see how things are moving for you through each of the moon cycles for the upcoming, the new moon in Libra and the full moon in Aries. So anything that you want to manifest, we're just gonna kind of go by each moon phase. There's like I said, if you watched the first video, which I hope you did, but there's kind of instructions on what to do when you want to manifest, and it's very easy, it's very simple. But this, so we're gonna do the moon spread to see how things are kind of gonna move for you throughout it. This full moon, or this moon cycle in general, new moon, full moon, is really, I think the energies around it are so interesting because it's almost like, in theory, the Emperor and the Empress kind of going like almost head to head. So even if you're not dealing with a person or dealing with a relationship, it can be like your inner masculine, your inner feminine. So with this one, the new moon, well, the Libra energy, that's going to be our 7th house of like partnerships with others and finding balance within them. This is associated with Venus. It's a very sweet, a very loving energy. And then the full moon in Aries, which is the Emperor's energy, and that's more about self and our ego and our relationship with ourselves. And it's actually that's associated with Mars, which is a more like forceful energy. So the two kind of colliding to find some type of balance. It's just a really interesting, I guess that's the geek in me around like this moon cycle. So we're going to lay out some cards to kind of see how things are going to roll for you through this moon cycle. So I'm gonna do each sign, but I'm not gonna do them in order or by element. We're gonna do them by modalities, and that is just a different way to break it down. Like, you can break it down through the elements, but the modalities will kind of show you how you're moving through things and able to change within them. So there's 3 different modalities: the cardinal, the fixed, and the mutable. The cardinal signs kind of start a season, the fixed signs are the middle of the season, and the mutable are the signs that kind of wrap up the season. So the cardinal signs are going to be Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. These are kind of like the initiator signs, the go-getter signs, or however that places in your chart if you're following that. So having those ideas, those signs get the projects going, build that solid foundation, but they got to work on the follow-through. So then with the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, they are able to make those plans and have that follow-through. Stick to the plan, very stubborn at times, but kind of it's the energy of getting into things. And then the mutable is the end of season signs: Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And that's the energy that kind of completes the task, that is more flexible and able to deal with change a little bit better. So anyways, a lot of information there. Maybe wasn't necessary, but that's how we're going to break it down. So we're going to start with cardinal, then we'll do the fixed signs, then we'll do the mutable signs. So this is just, I don't know, it's a really interesting moon combination, because it's either going to balance out, or you have that tower energy that's also associated with Mars, and Mars can be like a planet of like, it's very aggressive, it's very forceful, it can be like the obstacles that we face. So it's just, I don't know, it's an interesting combination of energies to come together. So alright, if this does resonate, if you do like this reading, please make sure that you like and subscribe below. If you haven't already, you can head over to my website. I put some kind of resources on there to help you track what you are manifesting. So like start If you're starting something brand new this full moon, this new moon in Libra, you'll check your progress around the full moon in Libra, which will be March, April-ish energy. All right, so we're gonna see. Let's start with Aries. All right, so the upcoming moon cycle. Oh, there you are flying out. Okay, cards for Aries. Any placement if you are following with your chart. All right, cards for Aries for the upcoming cycle. We'll get the overall energy and then kind of what's happening at each phase. And then I'll post more videos during those phases with kind of the guidelines, the so-called instructions. But right now we're just going to see in general how things are moving at each phase. If you're interested in knowing more about the phases now, you can check out the memberships. I have a video posted there. Alright, Aries, let's get it. So, starting with the moon, which is good energy. 5 of Wands, the 4 of Pentacles. It's going to be important not to overspend. You may be kind of holding a lot to self, looking for a lot of peace there, but there's a lot of inwardness energy here. All right. Overall, you're going to kind of keep a lot to yourself. Like you're kind of in lay low mode is what it feels like. Doing a lot of inward thinking. So hold on, I'm going to get, just kind of feel like you're harnessing the power of you. And it does look like you take action, but the challenges for some, maybe in a financial way with the 4 of Pentacles, like you may have to save but also at the same time, there may be something that you have to let go of. You have to open up. You have to express. It looks like you're finding a lot of peace, coming to terms with something, but honestly doesn't look all that easy. Hold the space. The moon, intuitive messages, peacekeeper, and warrior right over Queen of Swords energy. And she definitely did, well, regardless of gender. All right, so we're going to start right around the new moon, which is, you have Druid, like I said, as advice from your angels. You have moon here. So this is where it's kind of all begins. You're going to set your intentions, take time alone. And it feels like, for some, you may want to check your moon sign, but this is at a deep level, an emotional level. You're very much connected to the moon, very intuitive there, but this is also just kind of keeping a lot to self, a lot hidden at the moment, which is what you're supposed to do when you're manifesting. So next, for the waxing crescent, this is when you're going to begin to take action. You have that 5 of Wands energy. So the 5 of Wands is going to be associated with Saturn. It looks like you're trying to put some type of restraints in place. Like you're trying to put some type of boundaries within a situation, but there may have to be some sort of compromise, like something that's going to have to be let go of. Because around the first quarter, you have the 4 of Pentacles, which is where you're going to face your challenges. You have Moon. Take note of intuitive messages, especially that you may have received around the new moon. But with the 4 of Pentacles there, it doesn't even feel like financially. There may just be something like you within yourself have to let go of or release, or kind of like not really allow to, I don't want to say hold you back, but again, the 4 of Pentacles is associated with Saturn. So you think Saturn has the rings. Saturn is about putting limitations and boundaries. So even if it's financial, you may have to put some type of limits on that, or spending caps within others, like opening up and expressing, or, being too given. It depends on how it's going to resonate with what you're manifesting. So when we get to the waxing gibbous, this is where patience is needed. And it looks like you're taking that, you have the hermit there. So that inward time, kind of doing that introspection, you're gaining a lot of knowledge, not only, um, with like the world surrounding things, but also within self. It's a really cool energy because this is associated with Mercury. So that is about communication. You may be like, I feel like you're getting information about yourself. But this is thinking, learning, and it feels like that's what you're doing. There's a lot of introspection because around the full moon, you have the Four of Swords, and this is kind of where it's necessary for like you take action. Fear and anxiety can come, which doesn't look like it's popping up there. You have Peacekeeper, so let go of the need to be right. It looks like I said, you're finding a lot of peace and comfort kind of within self. And around the full moon, this can show like the peak. This is where the moon cycle will kind of hit its peak. And there can be high emotions, but you're finding a lot of healing. You may be meditating a lot, but a lot of peace within self. There may have been something, like I said, that you kind of had to open up about or set boundaries on, and it looks like you've done that. Like you're no longer in conflict with that, in battle with that. So around the waning gibbous, this is where we kind of do that look back energy, that take back energy. With the judgment there, that's being able to let go of what's no longer meeting your needs on an energetic or physical level or monetary level, so that you can use your energy, your heart space towards other things. It's kind of like that awakening. It's like you're taking charge of yourself, your life, your actions, but it feels like you're doing that on a very independent level. All right, so then for the waning crescent, this is kind of where you're going to want to not hold on to anger, just kind of clean up the things around you, relax, rejuvenate, because we're at the end of the cycle. You have the Ten of Wands there. So something, it's possible that it could be a little bit challenging. This again is associated with Saturn. So it feels like you're going to have to, there's a situation around whatever you're manifesting, the boundaries have to be put on. Some inward reflection time. If it's financially, you may have to save, but also it feels like in general, there just may be something that is in conflict around the situation that you have to let go of. And it's interesting because around the full moon, there's so much peace here. There's so much harmony and recovery. And then we get to this Ten of Wands energy, and that can feel kind of like heavy or a lot of weight, a lot of responsibility, like something is hard work. So it feels like whatever this is, it may kind of, like I said, it may take more than one cycle. I would meditate a lot, pay attention to your dreams, your emotions, your inward thoughts. It's almost like a self-analysis type thing. You're extremely independent here. Be fearless and stand strong. And it looks like that's exactly what you're doing. But it requires some inwardness, and it looks like letting go of something, not holding on to something there. For some, though, if you're trying to manifest like a relationship or something with others, you may have to kind of open up and allow that in. Feels like you keep a lot in very like mysterious energy. Alright, so next up we're doing Cancer. This new moon cycle for Cancer, any placement. Okay, cards just flying. Alright, cards for Cancer for the upcoming moon. New moon in Libra, full moon in Aries. Alright, cool, we'll take it. Alright, there's your energy. Don't fall. You're extremely intuitive. Well, okay. You have the Knight of Cups for kind of the overall where it's at. And so with the Knight of Cups, it feels like somebody's trying to follow. You're following what, I don't want to say emotionally because it's not all emotions. What makes you happy? You have an extreme connection to the moon, to your intuition, to your emotions. It's a very confident energy. It feels like you keep a lot to yourself. I would recommend definitely keeping a dream journal. A lot of people, a lot of energies are kind of going to be very attracted to you. If there's somebody else that you're trying to manifest with, create some type of partnership with, that we have the Eight of Cups at the end of it all. So that's the only, we'll have to see why. I mean, maybe in your best interest, because followed right behind that, you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is expansion and growth. Something, it's like it's expansion, it's destiny, it's fate, it's divine timing. All right, so around the new moon, which is where you're going to kind of set your intentions, you have wait for important information and the Queen of Wands. So you're very confident in what you're doing. People are going to naturally be drawn to you. This is kind of taking charge. This is that Cardinal energy. That's that go-getter energy. That's that leadership energy. So next around the waxing crescent, which is where you're going to kind of start to take action. Again, this is your energy, and this is about moving forward. It could be a car that you're manifesting, some type of trip, travel. It doesn't really matter what. I'm just getting the energies around the cycle, but you're beginning to take action, and it looks like there's a lot of balance there for you. You're moving forward. You're getting on the right track. The first quarter, this is where you could this is like it's where challenges can appear, but it's also like the healthiest avenue for like moving forward and continuing to move forward on the right track. You have the High Priestess. So at this phase, continue to keep it to yourself with the High Priestess, but also trust your intuition. Pay attention to your dreams. You could be doing something on a spiritual level, but you're extremely connected here. So around the first quarter moon for advice, you have Autumn. Release the old and rest. And the High Priestess, there's an inner knowing there. The High Priestess is the keeper of secrets. It's also associated with the moon and our emotions. It just feels like you're very in tune there. So now around the waxing gibbous, this is where you might need some patience. You got to be flexible, but you have the Nine of Cups there. There's a lot of contentment that comes with this card, and this is also associated with Jupiter, which is about growth, expansion. You definitely could be traveling. Jupiter has to do with travel and higher education, but it can have to do with opportunities, wealth as well. So it's a good card to have there. Around the full moon, you have the moon, which is your energy. This is where, emotions can run high. Your emotions may be running deep with the moon. This can also be like the best results from the highest point from this moon cycle. So it feels like there's a lot hidden and a lot that like you have to show, you have to reveal, and it's pretty awesome energy. You may be keeping a lot to yourself, like how you're moving this moon cycle as well. You have Trader, exchange energy to create abundance. That's interesting. So like I said, you definitely could be doing something spiritual or exchanging your energy and spending time with someone else. So, all right, around the waning gibbous, that's kind of where the energy slows. Not yours. You have the King of Wands there. That's just like this Queen of Wands where you're starting it. It's kind of like go getter energy back to back. Very confident leadership. I mean, you could be starting a business. Just whatever you're doing, you're very confident. You're moving still towards the end of the cycle the same way you were during the new moon. So that's pretty cool. All right, so for the third quarter, this is kind of make sure you don't overspend here, but this is kind of like the wrapping up of the cycle. It looks like you're walking away from something there. And with the Eight of Cups, you may be, this is where we go through a lot of transformations, right? So during the waning moon, you're going to kind of let go of what's no longer serving you, and you're moving forward to create some type of new ventures going out. And right after that, you have the wheel again, which is about growth and expansion. And the Eight of Cups here around the third quarter is actually perfect because it's associated with Saturn. So what you're doing is you're putting limitations. You're defining the situation and leaving anything behind that's not serving your higher good. And with that, that leads to a lot of growth and to a lot of expansion. From the angels, you have Medicine Guardian. Be open to healing information. Cool energy. All right. So up next, who is up next? Libra. Libra, happy birthday. All right, we'll use the Mermaid deck for you guys. All right. What's going on with this Libra moon cycle? All right, Libra, any placement. Cards for Libra's highest good, please. Alright, let's get it. Wow, okay, you're going for that stability. Sorry. I don't know why I'm saying sorry. Alright. It's interesting. It's like something like thought about. Wow. Yeah, you're definitely going for stability, security, family. This is all in line with partnerships, things like that. This is everything that brings security and that feeling of almost, I don't want to say loyalty, but you might be doing a lot of talking with others. You could be going after your money. It's just security. However, it feels like there is a little bit of a down in the road. It's kind of like something is almost, it's thought about, seeds are planted, it prevails, and there may be some type of little knockback here, but then it regains in a really big way there. So let me get these advice cards for Libra for the, oh shoot, shit, okay, thanks. We got Mountain. Oh, okay, cool. Alright, so around the new moon, just kind of where you don't really do much, you're just going to set your intentions. The Seven of Cups, it looks like you have a lot of options, or you have a lot kind of running through your head there. The Seven of Cups is options, choices. So when the new moon is here, you want to make your intentions extremely clear on what it is that you're trying to manifest. Like it may be more beneficial to focus on one thing at a time with the Seven of Cups, and you have the Seven of Pentacles right after that, and there's the Hermit. Like, reflect on what it is that you really want, because how this is starting out is maybe a little bit more of fantasy or thinking, but the Seven of Cups is Venus. That's your energy. So it kind of feels like you may feel connected to a lot of things, or just very connected to your emotions, but it still feels like there's some uncertainty about exactly what is it that you're manifesting. Like, write it down, set your intentions, and make it extremely clear. For instance, if you're trying to manifest money, don't just say I'm trying to manifest money. How much are you trying? Like, be clear on what you're trying to manifest, because the emotions are tied in. but the need for a sound decision. So basically what's happening here is uncertainty followed by doubt, wondering why something's not working out, and then poof, it takes all the way off because this judgment is made at the very end of the cycle. So something could, for some, not all, could maybe be a little bit bypassed here if the Seven of Cups if the judgment was already made. So with the Judgment card, that's about making a sound decision. Let go of anything that you already know isn't working for your higher good, your higher favor, like what it is that you're trying to manifest. Because then you focus on that one thing that is for your highest good, and it's gonna push it a little bit further. So next, around the waxing crescent, this is where you begin to take action, and this is also the best way to go about it, usually the Seven of Pentacles. So this is planting seeds, taking time, and planting those seeds, and then they grow over time, and then you achieve that Ten of Pentacles that you're trying to achieve. So it's putting in the time, putting in the effort, kind of, but while you're doing that, so think of it, it's like planting a garden. You plant the seed, you water them, you wait for it to grow, but you also have to weed out what's no longer serving you. Like you can't just leave all the weeds in the garden, or don't stick 7 different types of seeds into the same hole and then wonder why it's not, like focus on what it is. Know that it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. But I mean, I think you're doing that, because by the time you get to the first quarter, you got the Queen of Pentacles. All about stability, family, home, security. The Queen of Pentacles is very dedicated, is very in tune with like home, family, money, finances, that type of thing. So it's a very stable energy, especially in line with what you're manifesting. You have the High Priest, intend and create. So again, know what it is that you want and make it happen, because you have the Magician here. You couldn't ask for a better card, but it doesn't come until even after the full moon or after some type of setback, when it could have. For some, some things are unavoidable, but we don't have the Death card here. So we don't have like Pluto energy at the moment. So it may be something that for some is avoidable. All right. So for the waxing gibbous, you have the Hermit. That is Virgo energy. So communicate, open up, talk to others. Gather the information around whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Like look into something maybe a little bit deeper, even if that's like within self. Because Mercury, the Hermit is associated with Mercury. So collect that information, make sure that you are communicating, learning all that you can, and it feels like connecting on a deeper level. Like there's something you need to look into there, or need to focus on. So with the full moon, we have the Four of Cups. This is Cancer energy, but this is where, emotions can kind of get high and things like that. But the Four of Cups is self-doubt or a missed opportunity. It's almost like it's coming off as like a bummer feeling. And this has to do with the moon. And the moon is about things that we keep, it's a full moon, but it's about things that we keep to ourselves, or things that we keep secret. It can be our subconscious thoughts, our doubts, our emotions. And the moon also shows how we think and how we feel. So it kind of feels like something there is a little bit of a bummer mode. But from your angels, you have Guardian Angel. You are not alone. And then this is where it gets great, because you come to the waning gibbous, which is where the energy usually will slow down a little bit. You do that time of reflection. You got the Magician. So you're right back at it, making it happen, and you have the power to make it happen. So again, though, this is associated with Mercury. This has to do with communication, learning, and using that information. So it kind of feels like you may have kind of picked yourself back up here and you're getting back on the ball. The third quarter where things start wrapping up, you have the Nine of Pentacles, which is great financially, working on self-independence, taking care of self as well. I mean, this is a great turnaround card. And this is now associated with Venus, which is Libra energy. But that's that balance, that achieved balance, the partnerships, even within self. And then we wrap up with the Judgment. So with the Judgment, that's that sound decision that kind of goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the new moon. When this is options, choices, multiple things, or confusion, we end up wrapping up with the Judgment, which is focusing on one thing, making that decision, let go of anything that's not like in line with your energy, yourself, your highest good. Stand your ground. Sorry, I don't know if I showed you this at the very beginning during the new moon. You had to stand your ground. Intend and create. You're not alone. And then unleash the wild within was around the third quarter. Sorry, I blew that. But focus on what it is that you want and don't doubt yourself. It just takes time. There may be like a contemplation time or a time of like uncertainty. This Seven of Cups though, and the fact that, Mercury starts in retrograde, which can be like a confusing time, especially, or something around technology and communications they can come off all wrong. They can be set back. So Mercury retrograde, and then it'll turn direct, may kind of have some type of an effect. Alright, so Capricorn. Let's use this deck. Alright, so new moon cycle coming up. Capricorn, any placement, please. You guys, the other reading that we did, I remember that one very, it's not all the time that I remember the readings afterwards. But I remember that. If you haven't checked out that video, make sure you bookmark the playlist, but that's the one that was posted a little earlier. Alright, Capricorn. Where are we at? Wow. Alright. This is around your Ten of Cups. You're taking action towards something, and that could even just be as simple as talking to somebody. You're very connected here. You're very much in a heart space, and it looks like it's to the point like something's trying to grow. It's trying to expand. And then when we get to the end of the moon cycle, it's like there's a sense of pullback. We started out so big, so strong around the energy, and then there's some type of pullback that happened there. At least energetically, like especially if this is love, because I see this is around your Two of Cups, and Two of Cups is associated with Venus, and that's love and partnerships. But just in general, it's something that really means a lot to us. So we feel very connected to. It's what we love, emotionally tied to. So you really start going towards that, talking, very connected. Then we get to this full moon. We'll see. It feels like there's some pullback here. Like you're still content for the moment. And then you make a withdraw. Go into this very logical mode. I think you kind of keep your shield up from the get. Don't expect things to just fail. Don't go into it with that mindset or that expectations. Alright, so around the new moon. This is where you're just kind of going to set your intentions, know what it is that you want to manifest. We'll go into that in other videos. But you have the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands is associated with Mercury. It looks like there's some type of communication. You could be like even further in your education from your angels. You are not alone. You could be traveling, but either way, you're very passionate about what you're doing. You're moving forward. You're getting on the right track. When you get to the waxing crescent, you start to take action. You're very much like in your own element there. You're handling things from a very nurturing place, a very practical place. You feel it's a very grounded energy, especially as opposed to how this is going to change. So then we get to the first quarter, which is where we can excuse me, it's where we can face our challenges, but also it's the best route in order to make whatever it is that you want to happen. So you have to remember your intention. So there is still communication there. You have the Ace of Swords. There could be an epiphany or a realization, because your angels have for you arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. So it's almost like something is realized there. Trust your gut, protect your energy before, surround yourself with protective energy, whatever that means to you. Don't allow things into your space that don't match your energy, because it's just gonna pull it down. So then we get to the waxing gibbous, which is where, there's patience, or you have to be flexible. And it feels like you're doing that there with the Two of Cups. Like you're very in tune with what it is that you're trying to achieve. You're very connected to it. You're working on that partnership and bringing things together. Then we get to the full moon, which is where you have the Four of Pentacles. So this is kind of like your best achievable results. Don't hold on to anything that's going to tug down your energy. You have from the angels, Druid, save the space. Protect your space, protect your energy, and be in line and be honest with yourself. For some, it doesn't have anything to do with that. Don't overspend right here. Don't, around finances and things like that with the Four of Pentacles. Make sure you're not, like I said, overspending. But at the same time, don't hold on to anything that'll pull your energy back. So, but around the waning gibbous, this is kind of where you have that being thankful time. Your energy kind of slows. You have the Nine of Cups, and this is about being content. It is Jupiter energy. It's growth. It's expansion. It is happiness and optimism. So it does feel like there's something there that, it can lead you to where you want. But you have autumn. Release the old and rest. And that's also right there with the Strength card around the end of the moon cycle. So this is kind of where it feels like something slows a little bit. Like be true to yourself. And with the Strength card, that is about, confidence in going towards stuff. But it's also with the Strength card, it feels like you're very secure with who you are and knowing who you are, and there's something you're kind of pulling yourself back from, which, that's the time of letting go of anything that's no longer serving you and being very true to self. But with the Strength card there, that's sun energy. And the full moon will be the full moon in Aries, which is the first house of self, ego. So, and I'm not saying there's ego here. I feel like you're kind of turning the focus more to a serious, logical self. Whereas up here at the beginning of the cycle, you were more practical. Then we kind of go towards the Aries aspect of it. So then we wrap up with the waning crescent with the Queen of Swords. You're taking things, you're very independent, more of a logical mindset here. Getting things done. I don't really know how else to put it. It's a change of energy. It's kind of a more defensive energy than how it started. So around this time, let go of what's no longer serving you. Allow yourself to rest, rejuvenate, because the new cycle is about to start anyway. Kind of switch mojos a little bit there. And maybe that's in line with, what you're manifesting. I'm not saying it's not. Just go from Venus energy to Aries energy throughout the cycle. Alright, so that is the end of the cardinal signs. Let's get started on the fixed signs. Okay, so fixed signs. And remember, it depends if you're just watching this for your sun sign, that's fine. But any placement as well will work. So you'll have, throughout your chart. It depends if you're looking into all that. Don't worry about it if you're not. But for the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. These are the signs kind of in the middle of the season. Very focused on the task at hand, what it is that you're trying to accomplish, can make plans into reality, have, kind of, can be stubborn, but work the energy. Very hard working and focused type thing. Identifying the rough patches, that type of thing. So anyways, we will do Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Let's start with Taurus. Alright, so new moon coming out, new cycle, the whole cycle. Let me fix my chair. Alright, Taurus. Feels like it's raining. Alright, cards for Taurus. Libra, moon cycle, any placement. What is the best guidance? Let's give us the best guidance. Alright, let's see. Oh, free falling type energy, I guess, would be, wow, nice energy. Look at that fall. It's like, the picture in my head is, you ever like watch the Olympics, the World Olympics, like where they go off the diving board and they do that little twirl spin and then they just like perfectly into the water, like at the perfect timing. That was the kind of picture that came. Anyways, for the overall kind of where this is headed, you got the Six of Wands. That's success. That's getting what you want. This is achievement. So achieving those goals. You could be going for some type of raise, promotion, just something here that you really want. And it looks like it's gonna work out. Alright, oh yeah, let me get the advice cards. Alright, so Taurus moon cycle ahead, please. So wherever you're starting, whatever you're working on, you're very passionate about. You're very connected to. You have the Lovers there. That's Gemini energy, and that's associated. So with Mercury, you could be communicating, whatever it is. You're very connected to it, and this isn't even a time of having to take action. It just feels like you're very passionate about it. You have shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts, and that is Gemini energy. Gemini is all about thinking and communication, and so is Mercury. So it feels like you're doing a lot of thinking there, and whatever you're doing, it is time to transform and unveil your gifts. So then, let me get these cards. You have, the waxing crescent, which is where you begin to take action. So there you have the Fool, which is about fresh starts, new opportunities, taking that risk, optimistic about where you're going, and actually going for it. So with the Fool there, it's like there's a sense of freedom, and sometimes it can just happen sudden and unexpectedly, but it is going towards what you want. Then you get to the first quarter, which is where you can face challenges, but it's also the best route in order to move forward and to manifest. So you have the Knight of Cups. Whatever you're doing, like, you're following your heart. You're following those you're kind of heading head first. And it's like I said, whatever you are starting, you're already very connected to. You're very tied to, whether it's a person, an act, you know, whatever it is. Because this can go a couple of different ways. But I wish I could just give you. And this is a cool energy when I get through it. I feel like I can't talk fast enough. But this is also your intentions and how you're moving forward. So you're moving forward in a you're following your heart type way. And it looks like you're doing that straight from the beginning. You have Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. So stay focused, stay determined. And I mean, it looks like you're doing that because right after that, we have the Waxing Gibbous, which is where you have to be flexible. Things may have to be kind of reevaluated, but you got the Magician. So it's like you take them chances and you don't even start your best work until this whole thing is your best work. But with the Magician there, you have the power from all the elements to create what it is that you want. So even if there is a change of plans, you're handling that really well. And again, the Magician is associated with Mercury. Again, the planet of thinking, communication, learning, furthering your education, gaining, knowledge, connecting with others, whatever it is that you're doing. So then around the full moon, you got the King of Pentacles. That's all about that stability, that security. You're feeling very grounded, very like looking for that. That's all about that feeling of security. And that's the best achievable, like that's the high point of this cycle. So it looks like you're pretty content and grounded and feeling secure in what it is that you went for. So from the angels, you have She-Wolf, unleash the wild within. That's funny. And there's a full moon right on that. And emotions can get high, but it really feels like you feel like you're in a really good place. Like this can also be a time of fear and anxiety, and it doesn't feel like any of that's holding you back. So then you got the waning gibbous, which is where the energy slows and you're resting. You're recovering, you're recuperating. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're finding there's a lot of peace there. And then we get to the third quarter, we have the Judgment. And this is, kind of just letting go of what's not serving you. It feels like you continue on with this awakening, just like in the knowledge of knowing. Like your decision, your final decision is the payoff, the understanding, the inner knowing. That's a cool energy. Because the Judgment is associated with Pluto. So that is about change and transformation. So it does feel like you found a lot of peace and it's allowing you to move forward, to transform, to grow. It's a cool energy. Then you have the Six of Cups there for the waning crescent. And this is like the wrap-up stage right before the next cycle is about to start. So this, you could be like rekindling past relationships, and that doesn't have to be just within love or whatever. I mean, this could be past, but when we started with so much communication, it kind of feels like, there were some memories that were made. There were some, even if it doesn't look like there's obstacles to overcome, but that's not to say they're not there. We're not clarifying, but you also have Sun. Enjoy success and happiness. This is a good cycle for you. You have a couple of sixes here, which is about balance, create, and harmony. It feels like your move that you made in the beginning, it's almost like you tested the water, you took a leap of faith, you followed your heart, and you made it happen. And it works out for you. It brings a lot of ability to sleep at night. You could be meditating more, healing, like if you're manifesting better health or something like that, relaxation. I mean, this is just a very chill energy. And it's because you went for what you wanted. You took that chance. You took that leap of faith. Alright. So, Leo, new placement, new moon cycle coming up for Leo, please. Alright, so if you guys are interested in personal readings, or if you just like this in general, please make sure that you like and subscribe below. It's the first time I've done a reading like this, so hopefully you guys like it. I love doing these. It's so interesting how it all connects. Like, there's so many angles and aspects to things. Alright, and the ability to use those to be able to create what you want. Alright, ooh, starting out with the Empress right there. Oh my goodness, then you got the wheel. Okay. Let's see how this, okay. You gotta think something through right from the jump, okay? You could be moving, sorry. You could be traveling, but you are trying to progress here within a situation or an area that's been rocky. You're trying to communicate. You could be traveling, like I said, but you're trying to gain a new perspective on this area. However, or, you know, just getting things to a more balanced part, like if you think about the ocean. Anyways, and it starts out that way, and then, to be quite honest, it feels like you've got to stay true to yourself, because you start out with the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, the Eight of Cups. So there's something here that you, and this means a lot to you. Whatever it is that you're manifesting, it hits home, right? And it can be around home. It might be around, you know, you have the Empress there. So that is Libra energy. That's associated with Venus, which is partnerships, things that mean things to us, marriage, home. And then you have the wheel. Let me get these cards. Then you have the wheel, right? So things are turning in your favor. There's growth. There's expansion. Let me just get these cards and go through it one by one, because something's going to kind of snag here. Okay. Alright, so, like I said, around the new moon, this is kind of like where your focus is going to be. And that's around something, a person, a thing, whatever it is, it means a lot to you. It has like a deeper, it's associated with Venus, which is love, romance, fertility, family, possessions, like things that not really possess, but beautiful things, art, you know. So anyways, it means a lot to you. You have from the angels spring, see your seeds grow. So you definitely could be planting these seeds, and it feels like it's going to take a little bit of time. So please keep that in mind, because then we come up on the waxing crescent, which is where you begin to take action. You've got the wheel, which is Jupiter, which is about optimism and expansion. There's good luck and opportunities, wealth that can come. Like you have things moving forward, growing, expanding on your side. So then we get to the first quarter, which is where you may face challenges. But it's also, this is an indication of the best route to take to achieve what it is that you're trying to take. And you have the Eight of Cups. So there may be something that you're walking away from, or the advice may be to walk away. And with the Eight of Cups, this is associated with Saturn. So there may be some type of boundaries that you have to put in place around the situation or around yourself. Like if it was financially, kind of putting your finances, like, you know, being more disciplined around that. But with the Eight of Cups and Saturn has the rings. There's something you got to put limits on. And you may have to disconnect from, even if it's a way of thinking. So this could be advice, or, you know, it could be what you're doing. You're going to have to watch that one, because it could just be that something didn't happen quick enough. So from your angels, you have shapeshifter. Transform and unveil your gifts. Alright, so then we get to the waxing gibbous. This is where things like, you may have to reevaluate. You may have to kind of change course. Patience is going to be required. Your plans may be tested. And you have the Five of Swords there. And this is, again, Venus energy. So this is going to hit a lot. It feels like, at least at the beginning of the cycle, with how you deal with the situation, the things that, and really paying attention to around what you're manifesting, how you're going about it, the things that you're attracted to, and this will also point out like the strengths and weaknesses here. So just be honest with yourself and be true to yourself. Because there's something here around what you're trying to manifest that make sure you're focusing on your highest good too. Because then we get to this moon, the full moon, sorry, and this is kind of like the height of it. Emotions are heightened. We may leave our comfort zone here, and it looks like that's what you're doing. You're taking some type of risk. Sometimes with the Fool, though, make sure, and I'm not saying you're not, make sure you think it through. The Fool is associated with Uranus, so sometimes this can be Uranus, so this is a very strong energy. There can be some type of sudden or unexpected change, and this is where we have to face the truth. So, just be mindful, because things are really moving on your side, but you also have Lord. Take charge with authority. So it kind of feels like around that new moon, that's where you may kind of take that risk, take that leap of faith, make some type of moves. So then you get to the waning gibbous. This is where you kind of do that reflection. You got the Queen of Pentacles. Earth energy, very grounded, very stable, feeling very secure. Feels like there's something here that creates a comfort zone that's difficult to release. And that can be around money, that can be around a person, that could be around just opening up in general. Because around the Fool, and the full moon, we have like this outburst is taking a chance, and then we get to the third quarter and the end of the cycle, and it kind of closes back up a little bit. So we get to the third cycle. So this is how it's headed. Make sure you don't overspend, because you have the Four of Pentacles here. This is not the time of the cycle to overspend, but trust your intuition here. This is where you kind of have to accept reality, accept any type of truths that have been faced, but you have the Hangman there. So with the Hangman, this is associated with Neptune, and this can be like sometimes with the Hangman, we just hang there, and it would create like it ultimately becomes like a self-sacrifice. Like we get comfortable, we get content, we wait on something, we hold on to something, and then we don't move. There has to be a change of perspective around something in this process, is what it feels like, because there's some waves here. So look at things from all angles, from all perspectives, because then we get to the waning crescent, where this is where you relax, you let go of what's no longer serving you. Like even if you're organizing your house or putting up pictures or clear out the clutter, clear out what you don't use anymore. Don't hold on to things that aren't serving you. And with the Four of Pentacles, it feels like that may be happening. If it's financially, cool. Don't overspend, and that's what you're not doing. But if this is any other way, there may be something that is like some reality that has to be faced there. So you have Shaman, trust in higher forces. Like believe in yourself for sure. Alright. Alright, so up next, we have Scorpio. Scorpio. This deck, take this loud chair. Alright, Scorpio, any placement, moon cycle coming up. Scorpio, any placement, please. Make sure whatever you're doing, you're using your energy in the most effective manner, and giving your energy in the most, the way that By that I mean like even the energy that you allow in your space. Keep it positive, keep it light, keep good vibes. Alright, Scorpio. Wow, okay. Alright. You gotta look at something from all angles or it's gonna sting a little bit worse. Somebody is kind of this energy here. The overall energy is the Strength card, the Sun sign, or this is related to the Sun. So like I said at the beginning, this is basically a balance against self and others and finding that compromise. That's security and maintaining that. And this is all about maintaining and it's not being maintained. And what I mean by that, let me get the advice cards. This is starting out really great, really good intentions. And then, I don't know, somebody may set their expectations too high, which is possible this month because, or this cycle, because the way Jupiter will be aligned. So sometimes set realistic expectations. Don't over exaggerate emotions because we're starting out very emotional, very affectionate, very loving, very warm and opening. And then this is closing up. This is somebody who kind of goes into like shelter mode, put some guards up, more so like hot to cold. Can't tell what, like, you may keep a lot in. It goes from expressive to not expressive. All right, Scorpio, any placement. And you know, that's the interesting part of this cycle, because we kind of find that sometimes it can be like a tug of war between ourselves and others, or you know, other situations. All right, so like I said, at the new moon, this is where you're kind of intending what you want to manifest. You don't even really have to take much action. You got the Page of Cups, so you're very warm, welcoming, opening to it. Maybe a little shy, maybe a little timid. There's an emotional tie there. It feels like, you know, it is something that makes you happy. You're excited about. It's warm. You're open to it. Not fully all the way there, and by that I mean this is a page as opposed to a king or a queen energy, but open to it. You have broken arrow. Embrace the energy of peace, because that's kind of where we're starting, and then it closes up. So then you have the waxing crescent. This is where you're going to kind of begin to move on what it is that you want, and this is associated with Mars. So that's communication, getting information, talking, conversing, learning about the situation. So kind of getting into it. You're connecting with it, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Then we get to the first quarter, which is where we can face any type of challenges, and it's also the best way to kind of move forward. Remember your intentions and remember to work hard. But you have the Five of Cups here, so there may be some type of disappointment that's popping up, and this is associated with Mars. So Mars has to do with the action that we take, our desires, and our energy level, how we overcome any type of obstacles. So with the Five of Cups, make sure you're not just focusing on like what may feel like it's falling apart. Look at what's still standing. Remember to be grateful, thankful. You have arrow, surround yourself with protective energy. So then we go to the waxing gibbous, which is where your plans could be tested. You got to have patience type thing. You got the High Priestess. So you may have to reevaluate some things here. You may have to reconsider, but it kind of feels like with the High Priestess is like the keeper of secrets. This is where we keep our secrets, our thoughts. You have to trust your intuition, but trust your inner knowing. But it kind of feels like there's, you know, trust that gut feeling. Trust your higher self. Be flexible there. So then we get to the full moon. You got the Nine of Cups. So this is emotions can kind of get high, but this is about contentment, and this is associated with Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of opportunities, growth, happiness, emotions. This is emotionally fulfilling. This is wish fulfillment energy. So it does feel like, things are, you're optimistic here. You're content where things are. You have stand your ground. Mountains. All right, so then the waning gibbous. This is where the energy begins to slow down after the full moon. We do that reflection. Things become a little bit more clear. We have the Three of Swords, which can, there can be, again, we had the Five of Cups up here around the first quarter where there's challenges here. So where you had to maybe switch gears, and anything, like if there is rejection, you kind of gotta take it. You gotta look at the whole picture, the big picture. Because then when there is some reflection, there's some pain there. Some discontent around the situation. And it feels like because you put some type of boundaries, because this is associated with Saturn. So there's rings on it, right? There's limits to the situation, or there's been some type of boundaries that were put in place that you're keeping there. You got to let those go, because with then we hit the third quarter moon. So you have to let go of anything that was pulling you back, that did cause some type of pain or some type of disappointment. You have to overcome that. So with the Nine of Wands, this is kind of down but not out energy. But anything that was kind of pulling, tugging at your energy, make sure, you're releasing that. Because it feels that this is associated with the moon. So even on a subconscious level, or being able to express it, or just getting past something that you may have felt like kind of hung things up in the first place. You have elder, move beyond ancestral patterns. See that in this image, this person is holding one wand as well, just like in the Nine of Wands. So then we get to the waning crescent, where we're supposed to relax, rest, kind of, self-rejuvenate. You got the Queen of Swords. So you go to this very logical energy. It is associated with, communication, but it's more so in the way that you're thinking. So just don't set unrealistic expectations. Don't hold on to any obstacles there were. Like be open to that change, because it kind of feels like, some guards go up, some flexibility. It depends on what you're trying to manifest, because if it's around love, something here may have let you down, so you become very protective of your heart. You really put some walls up around you. You kind of pull back. It gets difficult to feel or to see. It would be difficult in the partnership to see what you're thinking, what you're feeling, type thing. So it depends on what you're trying to manifest. But it feels like you get to the point where you keep a lot in, and maybe holding back from moving past something. Hope that makes sense. Alright, so Aquarius. Okay. New moon for Aquarius. Full moon cycle. Any placement, please? Aquarius, moon cycle coming up. Alright. So if you're interested, I will post video. Oh, there you are. You got feelings for somebody. Yes, you do. Could be somebody you just have a friendship with. If this is around love, there's a lot of it there. Either way, whatever you're manifesting, it means it has value to you. Alright. Okay. That's how we're starting. Alright. So Aquarius. This is where we're at. Hold on, there's a plane by. Okay, sorry, there's a military base by, and they get loud. So, this is not going to go as planned. The way this is setting up to work out, if I can just be completely honest, this is going to just bring some disappointment. It would be my guess that something has to be addressed in a way that it's got to be more handled with care, because it's already starting out with the Five of Pentacles being in there at the new moon. This is where you're setting your intentions. Your intention. The Five of Pentacles is a card of loss, abandonment. You have 3 5s here, so 3 5s automatically create that Tower moment. That Tower is associated with Mars, like Aries is, which is the full moon, and there's a lot of active aggressiveness here towards the way the situation is being approached. And I'm not sure that the mindset or the state of going into it is like the best time, or the way like it's being approached, because you're starting with the Five of Pentacles. So depending, hold on, sorry, there's another plan. Depending on what you're trying to manifest, A, make sure you have the funds for it, and B, make sure it's healthiest in your best interest. You have the Five of Pentacles. This is a card of abandonment, ghostment. So I'm not sure if it's the means to, or the situation, or the way it's already being approached, like it's even there in the first place. I mean, it might be there, but the mindset here, if it's not there, there may be something that's lacking, is a better way to put it. This is where you set your intentions. You don't even have to move on it, but you take alone time. So when we have the Five of Pentacles coming in right from the jump, that has to do with Mercury. That has to do with communication, thinking. So definitely think it through and make sure it's the best time to start it. So we have, let me get the advice card. It's just an interesting energy there. Like, make sure you have all the information surrounding it. There may be some type of loss. There may be some type of loneliness. There could be some financial lacking. There could be other things going on. Abandonment or neglect. So you have from your angels, medicine guardian. Be open to healing information. And this Five of Pentacles is associated with Mercury, which is about gaining that and getting information, thinking, communicating. So when you begin to take action, we have this Knight of Swords energy. This is very swift. We went from having or feeling or whatever this Five of Pentacles, this lacking energy, to a very swift energy. And the Knight of Swords has to do with communication. And the way that things are getting approached during that waxing crescent is going to cause some type of conflict in the following stage, which is where you will face challenges. So when we get to the next phase, the first quarter, this is the healthiest avenue to take. Remember your intentions though. Remember what you started to manifest. But with the Five of Wands there, this can represent some type of challenges. So whatever this is associated with Saturn, you've got to put some type of boundaries. This can be law and order. This can be putting limitations on something. Even if that is like the way communication comes off, or it's like there's always arguing or fussing, or something about the way the situation's being approached, and if it, I'm not sure was ready to go in the first place, or all the information was there. So then you have Sage. Be devoted and committed. Stand your ground. Put your limits on place, even if that's within self, because we will battle that That energy with Aries in the first house about self and our ego and our pride. So sometimes we have to put boundaries on ourselves and the way we communicate. So take it how it applies. So then we get to the waning gibbous, which is where you got to be kind of more patient, and things, things may change around that. Might have to change direction, and it kind of looks like you do. You got the Page of Cups, so you take a more loving approach this time around. And this time around, you hit the full moon, which is your best achievable results, and you get it. You get the Two of Cups. You get that mutual attraction when it's handled with care. So this may be able to be manifested 2 cycles ago during the first quarter. It's all in the approach. Yours is all in the approach. You have to handle it from a very loving, understanding, sensitive, caring, compassionate way versus hostile and kind of aggressive. Because then when you get to your best achievable results, got your Two of Cups, which is associated with Venus, which is what means the most to you, which brings you love and harmony and pleasure. And from your ancestors, you have moving in a new direction. Traveler. Because right after that, the waning gibbous, where the energy slows, there's reflection. There may be some guilt. This can also be dissatisfaction. Just make sure you're looking at the whole picture. With the Five of Cups there, it's always like look at the whole picture, because that's associated with Mars. So it kind of feels like there may be some regret around maybe how things were handled before. But you have the Two of Cups right behind that. So your Two of Cups is still there, but something may be a little bit kind of, you got to remember to be grateful there as well during this period. The energy is kind of slowing. The full moon affects, the energy, the moon's diminishing. So then around the third quarter, this is, kind of letting go, forgive, wrapping up, healing, waiting. Temperance energy. This is a good card to have there. This is associated with Jupiter, which is growth, opportunities, expanding. And then the waning crescent, relax, recoup. It looks like with the Page of Wands, you're interested. You're curious about something there. You have the Knight, be brave. There's, kind of goes in line with the cycle. But this looks like, this might have been fixable. It's all in the way somebody approaches the situation, how they handle it. And then the second time around, it does look like it kind of gets corrected a little bit there. So maybe if we could put this over here, then maybe we could have eliminated. It looks like communication is going to get all out of whack. And right there, I don't have the dates right in front of me, but at the beginning of the cycle, Mercury is still in retrograde. And that can really that can, mess up communication, technology, the way things come across, how messages are delivered. So just be mindful of that. Alright, so that is it for the fixed signs. Alright, so now we're going to do the mutable signs, more towards the end of the season type energy, completing the task, embracing and being more able, open, flexible to change, handling unexpected change as well, being more, just flexible, adaptable. Alright, so let's start with Gemini, new moon in Libra. Moon cycle coming up. Gemini, ending placement, please. There's Libra and the Empress. Alright, so you may be right in line. Let's see. Cards for Gemini. Cards for Gemini. These cards are coming out. Somebody may be really ready to go. Excited type energy. My goodness. Oh. Okay. Alright. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt your abilities. Okay. Wow. This is really positive. And as long as we can maintain that. Alright, so we get all the way up. That's what I'm talking about. We get all the way up to this energy, and then it stops. Like, what just happened? Somebody is interested, excited, curious. I'm not sure if the follow through is happening there. Don't take anything I say negative. If I could just be completely honest, this is a manifestation that starts off incredibly strong. I'm gonna make a change within the situation, happy times, and then we go as soon as the full moon hits. What happened? There's confusion. There's either self-doubt or completely cut off to what was just worked so hard for. Let me get the advice cards from your angels and ancestors, and then I'm going to tell you. You have a lot of cups here, right? So this cycle, all right, first of all, you're going to start off this way, but you're going to put boundaries in place. You're going to put standards around a situation or whatever it is that you're manifesting. You have the world, right? So you're starting new chapters, new beginnings. With that world card, when the energy comes, it's like one door closes, another opens. Let me get these cards. Sorry, I can't hear the messages and do that. All right. So you're putting boundaries in place here. Around the new moon, you're setting your intentions. You don't really have to take any action. This is associated with Saturn. So it looks like you put some type of principles around what you want and how you're going to go towards it. You have protection, guardian. Drop your shields. Drop your shields. Sounded so serious. All right. So then the waxing crescent. This is where you start to take action on what you intended to manifest, and you are busting butt for that change. It's hard work. Your drive is there. Your determination is there. Nothing about this is easy, but this is also Saturn energy. You're enforcing those boundaries, or it doesn't even have to be boundaries. You're working towards the principles of what you're trying to manifest. Let's put it that way. So then we get to the first quarter. This is the healthiest, the best way to move forward. It's important to remember your intentions, and this can also represent any type of challenges. So then you get the Six of Cups. This is the sun. It's associated with the sun, which can have to do with ourself, our characteristics, our ego, the things that matters the most. But it feels like something may get sidetracked. Okay. And this is a great card, so it's not even in a negative way. But as far as like advice, this would be a very loving approach, a very offering, very giving energy. But that also conflicts with the sun itself. So really work on sticking to the principles that you set and maintaining. You have Father Sky, trust in the unknown. So then we get to the waxing gibbous. Again, we have the sun sign, the sun card associated with the sun. So it feels like a lot to do with self and the principles that you're putting in line for yourself and finding that compromise. So, I mean, this is still good energy. This is the happiest card of the deck, but sometimes we may, around this time, need to change course of direction, reevaluate, but stay committed. So you may be really committing to self. This is where it starts to change, though. When we get to the full moon, we have the Four of Cups. So this is where disinterest comes in. Doubt, no longer interested. So this is the Four of Cups. This has to do with the moon, associated with the moon. So trust your inner knowledge, yourself. It kind of feels like whatever this was that you were working for, you're no longer interested in. So this can even be like, if this is not within a situation, maybe you start a task and you really work hard on it, and then you lose interest, or you become bored with it, or for some it could be self-doubt, but this is around the full moon, which is the best results, and it's coming in. Your emotions can get high, like things can get intense, but you're not reaching for it anymore, you're not striving for it anymore. So you have from the angels and ancestors, star ancestor, follow the voice of your soul, of your inner knowing. Remember, it was connected to the moon. So your subconscious, your inner thoughts, your feelings, your principles that you put in place. So, all right, we get to the waning gibbous. This is where the energy flows and we start to think about things. And it's important to remember to be grateful and also forgive. We have the Seven of Cups. So it kind of feels like there's some thinking here. There's some contemplating. It comes in as contemplating, because with Venus, that shows us where our weaknesses is in some instances, but it gets us to thinking about what it's the opposite of this sun energy. It's like I was saying at the beginning. The sun has us focusing on, ourself, our principles, and then Venus comes in and we get more into that lovey-dovey, a place of contemplation. Not so much Venus contemplation, but that's what this energy is here. So then, third quarter, this is where we let go of anything that's no longer serving us, kind of heal. We come to this Two of Swords energy, which again is associated with the moon. But this is something kind of, it feels like getting stuck. There's no resolution to it. So, sometimes clearly decide what you want. Maybe don't overdo it. Maybe, also don't set your expectations too high. Don't refuse help. And I'm just telling you things that are coming, from all different ways, but sometimes, there is something here that could get refused as far as like a gift or like some type of help. And then you end up contemplating on that, but by the end of it, something here is kind of stuck. It's unaddressed. You have to listen to your inner self. So anyways, you have Spirit Fox. Trust in your talent and change in times. Don't withdraw from it or pull away from it. Like, continue with the follow through. Don't doubt yourself, because it's possible that's gonna end up becoming an issue. Because then the waning crescent, you have the Emperor, Aries energy, but that's associated with Mars, which is where that action, that assertiveness, that independence, and that take charge energy. But again, Aries, our first house of self. So, focus on yourself, set your principles, and stick to that. Don't doubt yourself. Trust in yourself, believe in yourself, because there is some type of pullback that happens here. It looks like at the very end, like right before we get to the new moon in Scorpio, it's kind of regained. But make sure that, because the overall energy was the Page of Wands. So there's something here that you're curious about, but sometimes the Page of Wands can be interested, but also lose interest real quick. It's almost like, there one day and no longer interested the next. So with the Page of Wands, just make sure set those boundaries, those principles in line with what you want, and make sure you really want it. All right, so Virgo. All right, sorry, I had to get some drink. All right. Virgo, Libra phase, any cycle. I said any cycle. Any placement. Oh, nice one to pop out. The Wheel. Three of Swords. You may be moving on from a painful situation, or it could be travel, but there could have been some discomfort around things. You definitely could be traveling. All right, Virgo. Alright, let's see where things are going. Please make sure that you like below, like and subscribe if you like this reading. I really enjoy doing them, so I hope you guys like them. Well, okay. What are y'all doing here? You're gonna stall yourself before you start moving. You'll get there, but you're gonna stall yourself. Yeah, I mean, this is just what's happening here is almost a battle between self and what you actually want. It's I don't know. It's something that's gonna stall it, but then you'll get it running. It's like when you try to start a car and the battery, like, you know, it just goes, and then eventually the car starts. That's what you're doing, but you're blocked here for a second. You gotta leave something behind. And I don't mean that has to be a person. Like, whatever you're manifesting, accept what hasn't worked. Let go of whatever did not work out in the past. Allow forgiveness, and that will move this a whole lot quicker. Because it's something unexpected, and it looks like in your favor is actually going to work out, but it's not going to start out feeling that way. And this can just be around work. But there definitely could be a job opportunity, phone calls coming in, communication. Alright, so Virgo. Right off the bat, they told you. Okay. This is going to work out, but I'm going to just give you a heads up. You're going to stall for a minute. At least in this placement in your chart. Alright, so right off the bat for the new moon, it's where you're setting your intentions. You don't really have to take much action here, but this is Sagittarius energy. It doesn't have to relate, but Jupiter is associated with this. So you already have luck. You have your intent here is to heal, to wait, to go with the flow. This is also the blending of two opposites. Whatever you're doing, though, you're creating a lot of harmony within it and a lot of peace for yourself. Right off the bat, your angels are telling you to move in a new direction. So you may be, this is waiting on something. Your intent here is to wait. And you don't actually start moving till the full moon. And they're telling you to move in a new direction. So yeah, this is possibly something that could be sped up. Because with the Temperance card, this is about waiting, letting go, going with the flow. And usually that's great energy. But since they're telling you to move in a new direction, and you have the Temperance card, which is associated with Jupiter, that's about growth, expansion, opportunities, higher education. It can be like travel, and then you have traveler. So, we'll see. All right. So for the waxing crescent, this is where you kind of begin moving. You have the Page of Pentacles here. It does look like it's a dependable energy. It is one that's making an effort, that's trying to gain some type of, I mean, that's a positive, hard-working energy. That's finding some type of groundedness, looking for that security type energy. And then we get to the first quarter, which is where you can face challenges and you get stuck in this Two of Swords energy, which is associated with the moon. So don't cut off your intuition. Listen to your inner self, because something may kind of get stuck here. And just because at the very beginning during the new moon, they told you to move in a new direction. And then when you get to the point where you could face challenges, or there could be a decision that has to be made, something kind of gets stuck there. And it could just be a lack of communication around things. You have summer, bask in joy and light. So then we get to the waxing gift. So this is where you're going to have to be patient, be open to new directions, and having to kind of change paths. But when it comes to doing that, you have the Nine of Wands. So you may be a little bit resistant towards that. And again, this is associated with the moon. So you may want to check your moon sign. Or, the moon has to do with our subconscious, our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions, our feelings, that sense of security and there's a lot of ability that comes with the moon, but there's also a lot of unknown. So make sure, you have all the information. So then you get to the full moon, where you have the Two of Wands. This is where, so the full moon is kind of where things come to light. They're seen, they're more obvious. The moon, lights up things. That's where this Two of Swords, where you face the challenge there, opens up and becomes the Two of Wands. So now it kind of feels like, because you're supposed to move in a new direction from the jump, you might have been able, sorry, I don't know why I can't talk. I've been talking for a while. You may have been able to overcome that obstacle before. Because with the Two of Wands, that's associated with Mars. So that is that energy, that drive, that desire, that assertiveness. It looks like you're kind of more, things are more opening up to be able to move forward at that point. And that also kind of show how you're dealing with any obstacles that you're facing. So from your angels, you have animal instincts, trust your instincts. I'm sorry, animal guardian, trust your instincts. Alright, so then the waiting gibbous. This is where, things are kind of slow down a little bit. The moon's starting to dim. You have the Eight of Wands, which is, this is where things begin to move for you. At the second half, that's where things begin to change and transform, because after the full moon, something's more clear, more assertive, there's more drive, or there's more information. So this is where things begin to change. So your energy actually is going to pick up at the end of the cycle, but it's possible for some, if you trust your intuition, your inner knowing, and it almost feels like you're right off the bat, if there was something that's like a dress there, then it would be a little bit more, I don't know, I don't want to say easier. Don't forget to put yourself first as well as a big thing that's there. Make sure that because you begin to communicate, you begin to move. There's an outward expression here towards the end of the month. That's when things end up moving. Communication comes more freely. Change happens. So just pay attention to what this is for you at the beginning, because for some, this possibly could have been sped up. Alright, so where are we at? Pisces. We'll do Pisces. No, I think we're at Sagittarius, actually. Alright, so Sagittarius. No cycle coming up for Sagittarius. Any placement. Any placement. Alright. If you would, please make sure that you like below if you like this reading. Hopefully it helps. Definitely enjoy doing it. Just takes a little longer. Alright, Sagittarius. Well, right off the bat, you're going for something, and it looks like compromise. Something that you're wanting to work out. Might not go as smoothly as possible. I would definitely watch the way communication comes off, because the way this is going to come across, it's going to end up bringing, you just got to be very real with yourself, upfront with yourself, and keep it, because this is going to end up creating confusion at one point, and possibly some setback. Yeah, love with the Ace of Cups is the overall energy. So something that you're very connected to. You feel a deep emotion for. This could be brand new love, but have all the phases of the moon at the top. Not all of them, but get the gist. Alright, so let me get advice cards. So right off the bat, you have the Five of Wands, which is, during the new moon, this is when you set your intentions. You don't necessarily take action. It's still dark out. There's no light. You take time alone. you know, set your intentions, your goals, that type of thing. So when we have the Five of Wands right off the bat, that's fighting for something, taking action. And that's good because that's associated with Saturn, and that's, you know, putting limits and boundaries. Just make sure that you don't overdo it right off the bat. So let me get these because something's going to end up, and just be more practical in your approach. Alright, yeah, you are not alone. Because it may kind of start off a little bit, I don't know if it's rough or not. We'll have to see. You are not alone. So then we get to the waxing crescent. This is where you begin to take action. You have the Justice card, which is Libra energy. This is where when you're taking this type of action, the way you're approaching it is you're approaching it with that balance there, looking for that equality and that harmony, because it is something that brings you pleasure, but it also may be something that also, I don't want to say, may trigger something that may be, it's that balance. So it may kind of knock the scales off a little bit, because with the way that you're beginning to move towards it, the way that you're taking action with the Justice card there, it's looking for that balance, that compromise, because before you were already putting limits and boundaries on something in a positive, healthy way. You're handling it, you're taking action towards it in something that's equal, that's fair, that's justified. And then by the time we get to the first quarter, which is where you may face some challenges, and kind of remember your intentions and to work hard. It feels like something's already exhausting by the time you get there. Like this is down but not out. So like you do want to keep trying, but remember to take your time and don't overdo it. Set realistic goals and expectations. You also have hold of space. So when you have the Nine of Wands here, down but not out, this is, things may have been a struggle, but still moving forward. Listen to your inner self, your inner knowing. Don't let your thoughts get the best of you. You may kind of hold a lot back, hold a lot in. So then we get to the waxing gibbous. And this is where things may be a little tested. Things may change. You have to be open to that change. You have the Knight of Swords. So, it feels like you do communicate, you do take action, but make sure you're taking like healthy action, because that's a very swift, determined, there is communication there. But it's just a very swift type energy, which isn't necessarily bad. There's a lot of drive and determination, so I think you are kind of picking yourself up. When we get to the full moon, which is where emotions can get high and you may have to kind of leave your comfort zone, take a leap of faith. This can also be like the highest point of the moon cycle. You have the Seven of Cups, which can be, it doesn't have to necessarily be confusion, but you may have a lot of options there. You may have a lot of choices. It looks like you have, because this is associated with Venus as well. So it feels like it's all tied back to that, but your angels are saying enjoy growth and reap rewards. So you may have, actually, yeah, I see it. You'll have several options after that. Because you have the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, the King of Pentacles. So it does feel like you're achieving some type of good results there. It is going to be important to like get all the information. So waning gibbous, forgive and let go. You don't hold on to some. Don't, like, once you, because you're going to come out stable, secure, very practical, feeling very secure, and financially. If this is a legal situation, there may be a couple bumps and bruises, but it's all about the approach. During the waning gibbous, we have the Page of Pentacles. So this is somebody, there could be a job opportunity that's here. This is somebody who's hardworking, helpful, like you're in a place of positivity. Then we get to the third quarter, which is where we forgive, we let go of whatever this challenge was. Okay, but with the Page of Swords, it's kind of like somebody's still trying to talk about it or still trying to look into it. You may be going back to school though, or doing some type of research, which is positive, but don't hold on to anything that's not beneficial for you to take forward with you. So then we have the King of Pentacles for the waning crescent. I mean, it resolves itself. There's security there. There's balance. You have arrows. Surround yourself with protective energy. Protect your energy above all. I mean, it looks like, you know, there may be a couple of obstacles, but you're going to push right through it. Just once you push through it and make your decision and find this, and this, I mean, you'll end up with a security, and you may have multiple arenas that bring you like a positive effect on that security with the Seven of Cups. Sorry, hopefully I didn't overtalk that one. Alright, so Pisces. We will use this deck. Alright, new moon cycle for Pisces. New moon Libra. Pisces, any placement, please. Pisces, any placement. New moon in Libra. My voice is starting to wear down. Alright, so, oh shoot. Pisces, any placement, new moon in Libra. Let's see where it's going. Allow yourself to relax. Well, that's good. Literally the card of relax. Then we get some resistance. Maybe not, yeah. Gotta allow yourself to relax, to heal, to just be okay. Cause something here, it's putting more heaviness on something than, okay. You got the Three of Wands. So, waiting. There's something that it feels like you're waiting for, and it may be something that's at a distance, but you started off really good. There is something, you have to make sure whatever you're dealing with, thought-wise, love-wise, financially, you're getting into it you're getting out of it what you're putting into it. Financially, there's something here that, you know, could reap some rewards. Partnership and love-wise, and I'm going to go through it. Don't hold on to friendship, relationships, whatever it is that are one-sided. But I don't want to go into, we're going to just break this down. Alright, so you're starting the new moon in a nice way with the Four of Swords here. This is healing, this is meditating, this is thinking, you know, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. Just set your intentions there, and your intentions is recovery, peace. It could be, you know, to meditate, but this is associated with Jupiter. So you're growing, you're expanding, there's opportunities that are coming. You have Father Sky, trust in the unknown. Then we get to this waxing crescent, and this is where you begin to take action, but it feels like either financially you may need to save some more money, or there's kind of a hold back there. Something may be holding you back a little bit. You may have to open up a little bit and don't hold on to anything. So remembering this moon is all about compromise and finding the balance. Don't hold on to something that's not balancing you, that's not creating that equality for you as well. Because this is a time of taking action, and we got a whole lot of holdback here. This is associated with Saturn, so there may be some type of boundaries that you have to put in place around a situation in order to further manifest. So even if that's financially, you know, kind of putting, you know, limits on self or accounts, and also relationship wise. Don't hold on to things that are, there's some hold back there. So even if you're trying to like open up and meet someone new, you might got to literally open up. So then we get to the first quarter, which is where you can face, there may be some obstacles there. You have to remember your intentions. You have the Eight of Wands. So it does feel like there's something here that's kind of sparking. You're interested in. It does feel like you're passionate about it. It's something that you could have if you want, that you're thinking about. But sometimes with the Ace of Wands, it's all something that comes, or just at the moment, because it really doesn't look like you take action towards it. You have Druid hold the space, because then when we get to the Wax and Gibbous, where we may have to kind of shift gears. We're kind of still stuck in this Three of Swords energy, which is associated with Saturn again, same as the Four of Pentacles that was here in the Waxing Crescent. So, I don't know if it's pain or if it's distance. Finances may be the thing, but just a whole lot of holdback. So even if you are like, let's say meditation or becoming like connected, like you may have to put boundaries on time, or like something has to be put in place here. But luckily we get to the full moon, which is the best achievable results. There's still an opportunity. And it doesn't look like much action is, I don't know if it's action or movement has happened yet. It really feels like, more so boundaries and limits that are either in place or need to be. So then we have this Ace of Pentacles. So there is an opportunity that comes that reveals itself around the full moon. You had a thought, now it's becoming a reality. And you have Guardian Angel. We're not alone. So then we get to the Nine of Wands. The Waning Gibbous. The energy, that's where we kind of reflect. You may be kind of tired here. Kind of wore out with the Nine of Wands. I don't know if anything's really, this is down but not out. Like there may have been, something just doesn't feel easy altogether. It could be kind of tiring, but when your intent here was to heal, to have peace, to relax, to calm the situation, and maybe it's maybe a situation where it's a little bit easier said than done. We get to the third quarter, we have the Six of Cups. So this is, kind of a good time, letting go, allowing yourself to heal. Not a lot of action, let go of anything that's no longer serving you. You have the Sun card. The Six of Cups that's associated with the Sun. So it kind of feels like a little bit of springtime in the air. And right behind that, you have the Six of Pentacles. So I think the biggest thing is creating some type of balance or flow and some type of harmony, and not holding on to anything that's holding your energy back. Unless it's financially, then don't overspend, and hard work and effort will bring, some type of cash flow. As far as relationship and partnerships, it's coming in as a much different situation. Trust your inner knowing. You have Arrow. It's the third time. Surround yourself with protective energy. I think a lot of mutable signs got this card. Alright guys, so hopefully I did not miss any signs. So I guess I'll figure it out. I really hope this helped. Please make sure that you like and subscribe if you did like this reading, if it's something that you did find helpful. Feel free, like I mentioned before, if you haven't already, check out the earlier video that was posted, as well as check out memberships. If there's a video on there, if you're interested in learning now more about the different cycles, how the moon affects us, things like that, and the actions to take, although I will go through it. Also, feel free to go to my website. I put a couple of trackers on there so you can keep track of what you're manifesting, how that's going, and when to check your manifestations. If you're interested in a personal reading, that information is below. Hopefully you found some use from this, some helpful angle. All right, you guys take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.